up on a couple of words that you actually used in your opening comments. You used the word innovative, inventive, and out-of-the-box solutions several times, sir. Is there place for these words as far as the functioning of the state is concerned? Let me quote to you what you said several months ago. You said you were disappointed that we're not taking decisions as fast as we should or as fast as we can. We're not implementing them with single-minded determination that we ought to. 20-hour debates don't add to anything. Is there room for out-of-the-box solutions, innovation and invention when we're actually looking at 20-hour debates, when we're looking at political compulsions and political vested interests leading to almost a paralysis in terms of policy making?
I think there is. I mean, this is not the only argumentative society in the world. 20-hour debates take place in Parliament. But in other countries too, debates take place. They take place in television studios, they take place in newspapers, they take place in universities. In fact, in the US, there's much more debate in universities than you can expect in India. But all that adds to the debate.
But this is a cause for frustration. It has frustrated you, hasn't it?
It has. Because I think whether you debate a matter for 20 hours or say 4 hours, and at the end of the day, you'll probably arrive at the same decision anyway. So might as well save 16 hours by debating only for 4 hours.
Is this getting in the way of making policy decisions that would actually secure India's future at this point in time?
Yes, it does.
Can you give me an example?
Let me give you one example. We've got this Armed Forces Special Powers Act.
Right.
Now, the Prime Minister has publicly stated that he will replace that act by a more humane law. My ministry has proposed amendments to the act, not to replace the act. Meanwhile, we had the Justice Jeevan Reddy Committee, which recommended repealing the act.
Sure.
Now, we are debating it for over a year after UPA-2 was formed. We're nowhere near a decision. Now, I don't think the length of the debate will improve the quality of the decision. So I think the time has come to take a decision. That's the point I'm making, that debates must have a starting point, must have a closing point.
Political compulsions, political vested interests, you think the biggest dampener in terms of taking those decisions?
It's not political vested interests. It could be simply political caution.
Too much caution, perhaps?
It could be political nervousness. It could be political ineptitude.
Okay.
It could be different shades of politics. But the fact is, a decision is not taken.
Okay.
And that leaves matters in a tantalizing stage. People are saying, will there be a decision?
Okay, I want to quickly get in more questions. Anupma Arya, one second, Shikha, I'll just come to you. Anupma, can we have your question, please? If you can stand up, you've got a microphone. Go ahead.
Sometimes we get restless when we see that along with the economic might, this ability to deal with the problems on the ground is taking time. So, sir, how long will it take? And what is the action plan for this?
I mean, are you suggesting we should become more authoritarian,
no, not at all.
Repressive, deny human freedoms?
No, not at all. Not
What
at
is a
all in
soft
terms
state?
of gathering arms or anything. Just, you know, when
we are a democracy. We are a democracy. And I want every one of you, young man or woman here, to be proud of the fact that we are a democracy. It's very easy to become an authoritarian state. It's more difficult to defend democracy when we have so many problems. We are not a soft state. We take time in taking decisions. We are perhaps
a slow state.
We are perhaps weak in implementing the decisions.
Speaking of decisions not being taken, and I think this is something that's going to resonate here with this young audience, let me bring up the Blackberry issue. You know, we've seen this going back and forth between your ministry, between the Department of Telecommunications. We now understand that a 60-day breather has been given to Research in Motion to come up with a solution that would be appropriate for the Indian government. Are you satisfied so far?
Well, I don't know what they have given in writing. I haven't seen the document yet.
But are you satisfied with the explanation they've given so far, or do you think they're being unreasonable? Are they treating India differently than they are other countries?
Well, I don't know, because I haven't looked at the papers they have given. All that I know is that we are standing firm, and we expect them to give us access. And if they have given us something and earned a 60-day trial period, so be it.
But isn't this, again, the uncertainty that you were talking about,
No, it
Mr.
isn't.
Chidambaram? Today it's Blackberry, tomorrow it'll be Google and Skype. These are players that have been operating in India for several years now.
So what?
So can we not have a consistent policy, or are we going to react to this on a daily basis?
No.
That leads to the uncertainty, doesn't it?
There's no uncertainty. You're obviously a Blackberry user. You're worried.
Clearly I am, as is pretty much everybody in this room, but that's not the point. The point
No,
I'm trying to make
point
is
is that,
getting
not
rid of uncertainty.
Point is, technology changes every day. New technologies, new medium. And the state's policy is clear. If there is a security issue, we need access. And we are now asking everyone, give us access. If there are problems, we are willing to listen to those problems. If we are convinced that they are insuperable, insurmountable problems, all right, we'll accept that. But if we are convinced that the problems are not insurmountable, that they have offered solutions in some other jurisdictions, certainly we're entitled to say we will have the same access too. Since I don't know what has happened over the last 48 hours, and that's not something unusual, I've been busy in Parliament. If they have given us something and earned for themselves a 60-day breather, so be it. I mean, 60 days is not very far away. And that is decision-making. That is progress.
But where does privacy stand in all of this? Will privacy then be sacrificed at the altar of national security?
No. You have nothing to worry. You're not a terrorist. You're not a spy. You're not indulging in espionage.
I'm glad you're giving me that vote of confidence, sir.
But when we think that someone is a terrorist, or someone is indulging in espionage, security will override the right to privacy.
Okay.
That's the rule all over the world. There's nothing new about it.
Okay, I want to pick up on another issue that you talked about, and that was really securing the aspirations of young India and this demographic dividend that we hope to reap. There's been a lot of talk on development, the state of development, the problems with large-scale development that's taking place in this country. We've just had the issue of POSCO and Vedanta, both those projects currently being stalled on account of the lack of environmental clearances. While I'm not suggesting that, we'll ride roughshod over what needs to be done on the environmental front, but the fact of the matter is we still don't have a land rehabilitation policy in place. It's been going back and forth. Hopefully it will make it to Parliament next session. How do you secure the aspirations of young India if you cannot even ensure that they're getting jobs at the end of the day?
You'll have to make up your mind on some issues. Do you want to promote extractive industries? Do you want to exploit all that nature has given to us by way of resources at the cost of destroying the environment? You have to make a choice. The UPA too
it's
has
as easy
made,
as that. You have to make a choice between one or the other.
not one or the other. How far will you promote extractive industries, and how far are you willing to go to exploit the resources that nature has given us? And will you do it even at the cost of destroying the environment? Now, until some years ago, there was no consciousness about environment at all. There was no environment debate in this country, like in many other countries.
But this has gone beyond the environment debate, sir, if I may interrupt you, because it's not just about extractive industries. It's about automotive plants, it's about special economic zones.
You're mixing up.
No, I'm not mixing up. I'm just saying...
The two cases you mentioned are
those
only
are two
about...
specific instances.
So I'm answering that. I'm answering that. The two cases you mentioned are only about extractive industries. The decision that the UPA2 has made is, we will not allow these extractive industries if it means destroying the environment and the natural habitat of the tribal people. Now that's the decision we have made. It's for the people of India to judge whether we are right or not. If we are right, they will support us, they will vote us back. If we are wrong, they will vote us out. But that's a decision we have made. We will not allow these extractive industries because we think that they will destroy the environment and the natural habitat of the tribal people in that area.
So what are the alternatives then for somebody like Vedanta or somebody like POSCO? Is it really
They'll
Leave
have to.
India, look at other alternatives.
No, that's
50,000
that's
crore
the
rupees,
decision.
large-scale FDI. We're not looking at that option,
That's a
possibility?
decision they will make, and their shareholders will make. They'll probably find other sources of raw material.
We've seen what's happened with Tata Motors in Singur. The issue of land.
Land is a finite resource. It's not as though you cannot acquire land anywhere in India, but you have to approach this with a great degree of sensitiveness.